Hello and welcome to the studio. My name is John Segui and I'm a commercial photographer and educator based in Gibraltar. Today's video is all about corporate headshots and how to take images like this using a very simple 2-light setup. But before I carry on, I just want to say a big thank you to Pixapro for sponsoring this video, and I'm going to make sure that all the equipment is in the links below. And should you wish to purchase anything, please use the links that I provide, as it helps give me a little kickback and helps finance these videos moving forwards. In addition to that, there is a little code down there that provides you with a 5% discount. So before we begin, let's be honest, flash photography can be confusing. There are multiple modifiers, multiple lights, different brands, and the equipment can be very expensive. So therefore, it's important that you invest wisely. I personally prefer to buy equipment that I can use across my photography. Therefore, in this video, I've decided to show you that you can achieve these great results on an average budget. Of course, all studio setups can be scaled up and scaled down. But in today's video, we're just going to be using one main studio light and one speed light from a lighting perspective. Now, my clients usually ask me to provide a grey backdrop, a blue backdrop, or a white backdrop. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can achieve all three of those very easily. Before we dive into the setup of the studio itself, I just want to quickly touch on which camera and lens we'll be using for the shoot. The camera will be the Nikon mirrorless Z7, and for the lens it's the Sigma 105mm 1.4 art lens. This is probably my favorite portrait lens. However, it is restricted as a 105, but it is absolutely spot on, sharp and perfect for corporate headshots. As I said earlier, this setup is going to show us how we can get 3 different backdrops on a budget. The first piece of equipment we'll set up in the studio will be the portable backdrop. These are absolutely great investment for portrait and corporate headshot photographers. Especially if you end up needing to go on location to do a shoot, these can just be thrown on your back, stick in your car, and off you go. For the grey and blue backgrounds, we'll be using a collapsible backdrop from Pixapro. It measures 150 by 2 meters, and obviously one side is grey, one side is blue, and it gives us great versatility and value for money. As the collapsible backdrop comes with loops, all you need to do is put those through the background stand and you're away. As it's 1.50 m wide, it's important that you ensure that the edges of the backdrop are not cutting short in your frame. So let's set up the first light. Personally, I always like to start with the background light first. Here we've got a simple light stand, S bracket, speed light, reflector, and grid. Of course, as I said earlier, the grid is totally optional on how you want it to control the light on the backdrop. Of course, you could use a more expensive light on the backdrop, but the whole point of this video is to show you that you don't need to spend loads of money to create beautiful images. One thing which is very important is that you make sure the light is right behind the model so that it doesn't show up in your frame. It's best to keep the light below shoulder level, but slightly tilt it upwards so you get a good spread of light behind the model. Just one thing to remember, the closer you put the light to the backdrop, the smaller the fall of light will be. The closer you put the light to the model, the wider the light will be on the backdrop. Once you've got the light in position, the next thing that you should do is take a test shot. In addition to that, you want to make sure that your model looks like a complete silhouette and that you have no light bleeding over the shoulders, on the hair, and so on. Okay then, so moving on to the next part of the setup, we're going to be talking about the key light. I personally have chosen in this setup to show you the City 600 Pro. This is an absolutely fantastic light and is very, very versatile. It is both battery powered and mains powered, so it's perfect for on location shoots and also for in the studio. After having used speedlights for many years, this was actually the first studio light that I purchased. As value for money goes, I think this is the best light on the market. Of course, a light is just a light, but you do need a decent sized modifier. As I said earlier, we're using an Octabox 150cm. The position of the Octabox in this setup is at 45 degrees. It is giving us that classic Rembrandt lighting. We're going to now put in place a 5-in-1 reflector with the white side bouncing light in. As you can see, this just lifts the shadows slightly and gives that nice effect that almost looks like you're using an additional light source. Here you can see the final image, a lovely blue backdrop with a very corporate feel. So there you have the first image complete. Perfect blue background, looking awesome. So moving on to the next one. How do you change from blue to grey? Well, it's super easy. All you have to do is flip the background. Nothing else to it, guys. The setup stays the same, lighting stays the same, power setting stays the same, everything's the same. Just flip over the backdrop and you get this result. So as I said at the beginning of the video, this is the whole point of this setup. It is a great value for money setup and it gives you versatility, especially for your clients. And the last image we're going to shoot is with the white background. White backgrounds are always a corporate favorite. However, it can be tricky to do it properly. All you have to do this time is go to your 5-in-1 reflector, take out the inner diffusion panel and replace the background. Again, everything stays the same. However, there's a slight change with what we do with our speed light. It's important that we try and ensure that the speed light covers as much of the background as it can. Therefore, you need to take off the reflector and make sure you zoom the speed light to its widest possible angle. This will help spread the light across the white background and ensure that you get as close to edge whiteness as possible. But again, make sure that the exposure is not too high and then you get overspill of light onto your model. And there we have it, guys, the perfect light setup for corporate shoots. Simple, one studio light, one speed light, couple of backgrounds, reflector, some light stands. It's a perfect setup. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Again, please make sure to check out all the links provided below. One last thing before you go. I don't just do studio photography, I also do workshops across Europe, and I'm giving away an amazing opportunity which is coming up right now. On May the 1st, I am giving away to one lucky person a place on this October's landscape photography workshop in the beautiful country of Slovenia. A once-in-a-lifetime prize worth a whopping £1,500. This is one of the world's most amazing countries, filled with alpine forests, autumn glowing valleys and moonlit lakes are just some of the amazing scenes that await us. For a chance to win, please check out my Instagram account for further information. Let's make 2021 something to remember. Good luck. So there we go, we're all done. I hope you've enjoyed the video today. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the bell, you know the drills. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care.